Bachmann has every right to be in this race. She's a congresswoman. She's been a successful tax lawyer. She's a very strong, independent woman. And I think this also shows that, the Tea Party is not this great, big, organized party. They are centralized around a few key, very important fiscal issues. So you have some people that claim to be Tea Partiers that want her out. Others support her. I think it kind of reinforces the independence as well as the strength of the Tea Party movement. I think she should stay in. This is just one guy who's part of the Tea Party who actually supports another candidate. So I think she's doing just fine.
And the buzzer goes off. Question 2. A new Time poll shows that if Hillary Clinton were running for president next year, she would destroy Romney, Kaine, and Perry. She would even fare better than her boss, the president. Hillary has already said she's not going to run. So does this matter, Pete?
No, it doesn't matter. We in the media shouldn't be talking about issues like this. Why is Time magazine, a mostly respectable magazine, asking this question? I mean, what other ideas did they pitch around for a poll question? We should ask if Superman would beat Mitt Romney and other ridiculous hypotheticals. If you want to ask about maybe what would happen if she ran for vice president, which is partially possible and feasible, perhaps. Well, this is a ridiculous question. It's a shiny object for us in the media to swat at. It's like a ball of yarn for a cat.
I happen to think it's interesting, though. It's interesting to think. Okay, all right.
It's interesting.
I think it's interesting to think. Okay, your time is up. All right, let's talk to Cheri. Cheri, what do you think?
You're right.
Once Hillary Clinton is sort of, she's not dealing with domestic issues. If she were actually in the race, and that might be different if she had to engage. But this is very bad news for Barack Obama, not for Republicans. And at this point, I mean, you know that Bill Clinton doesn't really like Barack Obama. There's already this gravitas gap. Now the Obama campaign has to deal with this with both Clintons. They're going to be begging them to come campaign for them. The Clintons are still the ones that kind of hold all the cards here. So this is a very interesting dynamic for the Democrats.
Maria, you're chuckling.
No, this doesn't matter in the least, Alina, though I agree with you. For the media, this is total catnip. But I will say this. It's easy for people to say that Hillary Clinton will beat everybody because right now she is one of the most popular Secretary of States ever because she is not in the rough and tumble of politics. So it's easy to be above the fray. She has done a fantastic job as Secretary of State and being our #1 diplomat around the world. And so I think that's what a lot of people are reacting to. But she's not in the day-to-day. I think that if she was in the day-to-day, the numbers would probably be a little bit different.
Now's the time for your buzzer beater question. 20 seconds. You know the rules here. Kill Osama Bin Laden. Open a $10,000 bottle of wine. Now that's the bet that Defense Secretary Leon Panetta made last year with a restaurant owner friend. Now we learn that he'll be uncorking that bottle of 1870 wine this New Year's Eve. A nice way to celebrate or a waste of good wine, Cheri?
Personally, I find it in poor taste, but I also find showing the death photos of Gaddafi in poor taste and that sort of thing. And a gratuitous plug for my column in The Hill today, I addressed that, if anybody would like to go take a look at that. But I also think we have slightly different rules for soldiers and people in combat. They may have a little bit better reason to celebrate. Panetta kind of falls into that category, but it might have been one of those celebrations he wanted to keep private.
Okay, Maria, what do you say to that?
There's no question that this is an event to celebrate, Alina. Just ask any American. In fact, I think anybody around the world. This was an evil man who had eluded presidents past and defense secretaries past. And I bet you that when he does raise that glass, he's going to celebrate our men and women in uniform and everybody in the intelligence agencies, just as he should.
I'm afraid. Okay, great. I'm not surprised. And Pete, I'm afraid to ask you, but go ahead.
I like that. I like that. Keeps you on the edge. Listen, I agree with Cheri that I think it's in poor taste, certainly to celebrate in any way publicly about this. I'm sure they didn't want this information to leak out, but it has, and it's bad, and it'll be used for propaganda reasons. Frankly, I can't tell the difference between a box of wine and a bottle of wine from 1870, so I don't get the appreciation. I'd like to see the Secretary of Defense celebrate cutting our massive bloated defense budget that apparently we're preparing for an alien attack for. I'd celebrate over that.
Okay, all right. Pete, Dominic, Maria Cardona, and Cheri Jacobus. Thanks as always for the spirited discussion.
Thanks.
Coming